And next thing that I wanted to do is using MISPAS to helping us to compositing the atmosphere perspective. And yeah, so um, which is this thing we want to creating this very nice feeling of from the foreground, midground, and background, and organize their value by the mispath, or we can say atmosphere perspective. And the way I'm going to do it is I going to oh, one thing I forgot to mention, which is there is some lighting inside this keybash set, and the lighting will increase in the render time and make the scene more heavy. So maybe we wanted to close those material emission in order to make our scene more efficient. And yeah, so let's get started to the turn on the mispath. We can into the render property, and we go to the data and turn on the mist. Then we can activate it on the we can review it in the render setting, and that's for render path changing to combine from combine to mist. And now we can see the very good atmosphere feeling. But of course, for now, the atmosphere is too strong, and we only can see foreground, and we want the beautiful gradients. We wanted the nice gradients from foreground, midground, and background. So we can changing some setup. For me, it's like I change it to linear, and we can type into some number. Yeah, I'm just adjusting according to the feedback I got from the render viewport. I didn't doing the calculation, but this is actually calculatable. So if you you want to do it in the more tactical way, you can definitely giving a very precise uh, number. But I've just been lazy, so I didn't do it. Yeah, we want this kind of feeling, which is a great, very good value grouping, which is midground inside of certain number of value, and foreground is inside certain value, and background is inside certain value, and we can have a hierarchy. As you can see, I'm trying to figure out what's the hierarchy, but this is just an example. This kind of hierarchy is a changeable. It is a proportion that going to according to I would say, if we are taking photography, is this kind of value grouping, a hierarchy is going to changing according to where your exposure going. Well, I know it is a bit abstract idea, but well, simply to aware of this, which is we want this kind of big background, midground, foreground separation by value, and we wanted the value being separating into a more clear feeling, which is we can feel like, yeah, foreground is pretty dark, midground it is pretty, gray, and background is pretty light. That's a general idea. And now I can do a little multipath compositing to giving an example of how to combine mispaths in Photoshop. The reason I'm doing this because, well, you can totally do it inside a Blender. You can creating an actual mist, a fog inside your scene. But I kind of didn't do this because I think that's pretty heavy, and also in the end, I'm going to render this path anyway because I needed using this path to help me to control my frame, my composition, uh, um, in control my keyframe and my composition in the final 2D process. So I going to do it anyway. So right now I'm doing just screenshot. I using the lighten combine mode to blending mode, lighten blending mode to blend the mist path and the render, the beauty path, the combine path, which is had everything adding together. The reason I'm using lighting is because lighting it is a replace blending mode, I would say, because it will let the value higher than it will let this in this layer anything lighter than the path under it, it's going to replace the value. So it's very much like fog, right? It replaces something it should be there by the lighting then. And I think this is very similar to like fog. So, but I want to changing our fog into 50% opacity because it's not a very strong fog. What we want to do is just separation. Remember, we wanted the kind of background, foreground, midground, the kind of separation, and by value, separate by value. We want to, or what we call it, we can call it is value grouping. And also, I want a very nice foreground element, to be darker, and so can be easy to read. So what we can do is how we can make a selection with mispath. In this is a technique I like a lot. We can go to channel and we can left click the RGB channel and we get the solution from the mispath, and we're using the solution area to creating a new adjustment. We can use it to creating a new adjustment layer, which is curve, and we want to reverse it. Well, I haven't reversed it. I tweaking the value first. So we want to change the foreground, right? So I kind of forget what I'm saying here, but what I'm doing here. But anyway, oh, we reverse it, and we are tweaking the lighting. Okay, so this is a bit complicated for sure because a lot of abstract idea and also reverse. It's like what the F, right? Like what I'm doing. Well, because how mask in Photoshop work is like they, according to the value of the mask, they going to affect how many the level that this this layer uh, how the affect how they going to be affected other layer layer on the bottom according to the values on the mask. So Y means the effect is going to be more effective, and darker means basically well the effective going to lower. So yeah, I mean it is abstract for sure. Maybe you can do just follow the what I did. You can see I have my keyboard, which button I see on the screen, so you can maybe you can just doing it because it is something really kind of like it's kind of like a you know riding a bicycle is a more doable thing rather than explaining. I mean, it's definitely explainable. It could be explaining, but I'm not very good with. Yeah, this is what we try to achieve. You know, we wanted our foreground to be darker, to be have the kind of clear separation. I think there's going to be something the kind of effect we wanted to achieve. So this is a bit multipass compositing uh, technique from using mispass. And back to the Blender. I'm continually tweaking the value a bit. And here is another technique, which is normal path. We go to the render property to activating normal path, and we can see it from the viewport shading to go into normal path, and we're going to using normal path to helping us bring some of the skyline in the foreground. So normal path, the function of normal path basically for me is like help me to select the face toward to the different angle. And for now, we want the skylight, which is we want to facing the up, facing the up and down. We want to select the horizontal horizontal face, and we want going to using that face to helping us select. And also I going to render ambient occlusion phase path. What ambient occlusion path is? Well, it is ambient occlusion, which is the shadow in the corner where light cannot go in. It is a great path we can use. So how to using those paths combined together? Here is the little demonstration. It's going to be another complex things for sure. Yeah. Okay, so we can see the horizontal face, the facing upper to the sky. It is blue. The color is blue. So we go to channel to left click the blue channel, and we got a selection from the channel, and we can use it creating a group. Using this group, creating a mask. So everything inside this group going to only affect the face upper. So as you can see, we can creating a lot of interesting effect. Something like this is like a snowing, right? So this idea is similar to triplanar mapping if you had a learning about shading system on any software. And also I wanted the using AO to creating the ambient occlusion effect. The reason we're doing this because let's say it is light or it is snow. So, but snow can, or we can say snow will last dropping into place where the kind of small angle, the light cannot go in, right? So, with ambient occlusion, we have a much nature look of, you know, the skyline, or if this is a snow, it's just much a lot more because a lot more natural, and also because if it is lighting, the light cannot bouncing into the small angle, the angle that's just very extreme, right? So this kind of angle is it should be less light going inside. So you know with this setup, we can easier and more naturally to, I can say almost we can relighting the whole thing, by using 2D technique. So but of course, my purpose is bring back to some of the very beautiful sunlight. Sorry, not sunlight, skyline, because there's two things. We want to bring back a little bit contract, and also contract not just in terms of value, also in terms of hue and saturation, right? And we're giving us more contract between more things. It just make the thing more diversity. And yeah, this is pretty much. I think it's pretty much it. Also, next, what I did is try to helping me to reduce some of the information on the edge of the composition. There's a lot of contract on the edge, on the side, like those glass. I think they are very eye catchy. They're too much contract on the edge side, and I want to reduce them. But of course, it's slightly. We can adjust them to be a more slightly way, a more subtle way to reduce some of the information, and now I was reduce some of the color because I think, yeah, as you can see. So let me, so you can feel the difference between without it and with it. Okay, this is the beauty path. What we want to do is just a very beautiful Atmos perspective. So we activate it, and as you can see, we adding together, we adding mist path into combined path together, and we achieve this kind of loop. And yeah, my mask didn't link, so I kind of, yeah, going to doing again. So I'm doing a little, yep, as you can see. And next is like using normal map to bring back some of the ambient, very ambient skyline, and also using ambient occlusion to removing some of the angle, the light bouncing into angle, so make giving us more nature ambient occlusion, uh, the kind of effect to bring back more light in the foreground. And also, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And also, don't forget, we can flipping the canvas to make sure the composition work, and there's no problem, and also giving us a reflection look. And yeah, I think that's pretty much, yeah, this chapter.